Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm talking about potential. And this came off the back of a client of mine, a previous client of mine, who sent me a lovely message to say how our work together had really helped her, and that she's being considered or put forward to it for an amazing promotion. And it made me think about our potential. Like I know Michael Neill has a TED talk and it's called Why Aren't We Awesomer? And I think this is, I haven't listened to it for yonks actually, I'll probably listen to it again sometime, but I feel like what I'm saying today is pointing in that same direction. And then this morning, before I came to do this, I read a post that talked about psychometrics, and the person posting that talking about how a psychometric test, personality test, that kind of thing, can tell us who we really are. And I thought, wow, the whole universe is providing me with the information or the sparks of the starting point of this piece today. Because none of that, like our personality test, a psychometric test, doesn't tell us who we really are. Actually, it pretty much lets us know what's stopping us being who we really are. Because quite often those tests will tell you, where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are. And what a wonderful place to get curious about, because what we're talking about there with the psychometric test is an assessment of your thinking. And that's all it is. That's all it can ever be, because we can't fill in a survey like that from our potential, because it's covered up by our thinking. I think the model in my community of how human beings are built psychologically is just very different to what's out there as a generally believed point of view. And I'm not saying mine's right and everybody else's is wrong, but what I am pointing to is that when you start to see the world in the way I'm pointing to, your potential is more likely to be revealed than what is going on elsewhere. So the model I feel that we have at the moment, that is the most widely held model, is that people have missing potential, like it's missing from them. That maybe it was never there in the first place, or maybe it's been taken away by life's experiences. Maybe chunks of our potential has been cut out by trauma or by upset when we were younger, or whatever else is pointed to as a potential remover, as it were. And that our job as a human being, if we want to do well in the world of form, if we want to be successful in the world of form, is to add that back in by adding it back in by doing things to ourselves, by doing affirmations or doing meditation, or going through reading lots of self-development books, or doing lots of tools and techniques and strategies, or lots of therapy. And that eventually we might somehow patch it all back together again in I imagine in quite a messy way. But I don't see humans like that anymore. I definitely used to see humans like that. I see us in a very different way now. And I think that's what I spend my time doing, is pointing out to people the amazingness of what they already have inside. So the model I use is the same model as Michael Neill and other teachers in this community, which is we are the potential of everyone and everything. We are the power of the universe. We are what makes the sun rise or appear to rise. Clearly, it's the earth going around the sun. All those things that just happen. The amazingness of nature as it moves through the seasons each year. Something amazing is powering that. When you look at a rose, you don't think, oh, it's not meeting its potential, this rose. I don't know, maybe some gardeners do think like that, but most of us look at a rose and just see the beauty of it, or we look at a rose bud and we see its potential to open. That which runs all of that energy of life, or the energy of nature, which is what I like to call it, runs through everything, and it runs through you. And it's unbreakable, unshakable, undamageable. It's who you really are. The potential of the universe. That's who you really are. And I see it, like Michael Neill's, like a diamond, like something that is unbreakable. You can choose titanium if you'd prefer, but I quite like a diamond because it's shiny. And we're shiny inside too. So we have this amazing potential. And I was in a meeting yesterday morning, and it was a ladies' networking meeting, happened to be a baby there. And I said to the ladies there, that's the human potential. That little person there has in them everything that we're all looking for outside of us. And you can see it when you look at a baby and you see that. There's just something about that, isn't there? So that's how we are born, perfect, whole and well. And we still are now. The trouble is, I don't know if it's trouble really, the thing to realise is that we have learned to think. That's it. We've been conditioned unconsciously. We've done some learning unconsciously. Nobody said, let's sit down and learn how to be limiting, or how to limit ourselves, or how to be less confident, or how to not feel resilient, or how to not feel calm, or how to feel anxious or depressed. Nobody sat us down and said, come on, we'll teach you how to feel terrible as a human being. Off we go. Lesson number 1, feeling rubbish 101 course. There was no course. There was just the niggly things that happen. That I think about the things I've said to my children. You can see in your own children often little bits of where they've learned to be how they are. I see parts of me that remind me of my parents, and that's what's happened. And all that's happened really is that beautiful diamond, your potential, has just got covered up a bit with thinking. That's all. Just covered up. And when I sit down with somebody, on Zoom mostly these days, I see that that's my job, is to point out to them where they're doing amazingly well, how they have overcome so many things, how all those qualities that they're looking for outside of them are already there. And to help them to see the stories and the storification, wrongification, and shouldification that they're doing, that's taking them away from connecting to this wonderful power that we all have inside. Because our potential is always there. It's just getting covered up sometimes. But I promise you that whatever it is you think you can't do, whatever it is you think is outside your reach, whatever feeling you think can never be yours on a consistent basis without doing lots of things, that's not true. I thought that was true about me just over 2 years ago. And if I can come to this place where I do see more of my potential, we can never see it all. It's too, I think our heads would explode if we saw it all. But to see more of it, to see more glimpses of it on a day-by-day basis is life-changing, is transformational. So, yeah, just realizing it's there is the start. And having a conversation like this with someone, I'd love it if it was me, of course, can really, really help. So stay curious and maybe spend today noticing how amazing you are. I suspect that will create a really wonderful day for you. Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.